Hi, I'm Sarah Ansboury, and I work with a lot of players that are just transitioning to their first few tournaments, and we see a lot of the same mistakes. So if you're out there playing your first tournament or two, I've got a couple of tips for you to get more comfortable preparing for the event. Number one, learn the rules. Make sure that when you go into a tournament, you're prepared to have a referee that creates your rules. Something simple as my referee has to call the entire score before I start my service motion. I often see that as one of the most common mistakes that players make. Another thing to think about, you're playing an entire draw in the same day. So be prepared to play all day long. That means you need snacks, you need to hydrate, you need to be in an area that you can rest and relax in between your matches. A lot of players will go out there and they want to play a lot in their off time, and then they're too tired or they end up cramping. You are playing for a full day. It's a long day. So make sure that you're hydrated and you've got food and you're relaxed as you're going. Last thing to think about is making sure that you're prepared to utilize timeouts. Timeouts are one of the most important factors in momentum. You have two timeouts per game if you're playing 2 out of 3, and they're 1 minute long. In between games, you have 2 minutes. So when you have a timeout, you can communicate with a coach or another person and talk about your match. If you're changing sides, you are not allowed to coach with your opponent. So I often see players on the outside trying to coach people when they're in the middle of a game. A timeout is key to being able to think about one, your strategy, but two, your momentum. I often get stubborn about it and don't want to utilize a timeout, but they're huge factors. If you're at 210 and you haven't used a timeout, use it. Get comfortable with using them and utilizing them for strategy as well as mental focus.